So the other day I was watching a video by Jesse Driftwood, and let's say my mind was broken. Like, how on earth do you pull off a shot like this? So I decided to recreate it, but with a twist. I'd be using the brand new Scorp Mini 3 Pro to get this impossible shot. And I'm gonna show you exactly how I did it. Let's get in. So the first thing that we need to do is to set up the camera or phone on the Scorp Mini 3 Pro and get it on a solid tripod. This is important because any small movements or shakes to the tripod can ruin this effect. Next comes the lighting. With any type of clone, you want the lighting to be consistent, meaning that there will be no lighting or color temperature changes, especially if this is going to take you more than 30 seconds, which it is, trust me. Now comes the creative part. Open the Fuse Scorp app and plan your points. You want the shot to have variety and visual interest, so play around with all these settings and get a pitch, angle, speed that you like. You also want to give yourself a bit more runway before and the end of the shot, so you could get into position and have yourself ready when the camera comes to your side. Now, one very important thing to mention is where you stand in the shot. You don't want yourself to be overlapping during the entire sequence, because cutting out it'll make it difficult, it'll make it splotchy, it'll make it messy. So you want to not overlap yourself and give yourself a little bit of room so you can add a mask in between. And I'll show you how to do that later. So once you found 3 or more optimal positions, all what you gotta do is click go and let the gimbal do the magic. Here is that shot. Now move on to your second location without touching the gimbal or the camera. Initiate the gimbal on the app and do that 2 more times. It's important to not move the camera, the gimbal, or anything around it. You gotta make it as stable as possible so they line up perfectly in the editor. Once that's done, pop the card into the laptop and let's get rolling. So let's quickly go over the editing process. Now, it's super straightforward and it doesn't require a lot of things if you filmed it properly. So here's the shot that I'm gonna make. What you want to do is cut the clips from the beginning of the shot to the end, and slowly line them up by dragging the opacity up and down and seeing if they match up. If not, scooch them around and make sure all of the clips line up to the bottom one. Now, I recommend you all line them up to one single clip, meaning that you'll have consistency and not drift over time throughout the clips. So I actually lined all of these up to this bottom one. So after you've done all of them, you want to select the top clip and go into the Fusion panel. Now, this is one of the clips that I'm going to do. So what I do is I actually grab the polygon and just drag it right here between the media in and media out. And then I run over to my hero frame, which is around this area. I'll then start drawing a mask around my subject. Make sure to give a little bit of wiggle room for softness or blurring, which we're going to do in a moment. And make sure this animation icon is selected. Now, while we're at it, we also want to select this keyframe and this keyframe. That will allow us to move the mask without changing all the intricate ins and outs. So we'll go to the end of the clip where it ends, and then we'll select all the points and drag them over to make sure we cover ourselves in the mask. Now, as you can see, we got a little bit of room right here, so we want to just select this side and drag this out here. Now, this will automatically add a point. Now I'll just do that for the opposite side. I'll make sure to go all the way where I'm not seen in the shot, select all the keyframes and drag them out of the frame. As you can see right here, I am getting outside of the mask, so we'll add another keyframe by just dragging this simply over. And as you can see, I don't go behind the mask. Everything stays where it should. Now we're ready to connect it to our media in. We can uncheck this icon to see our entire composition, soften the edges just a little bit, and there we go. And after doing the same thing to every single clip, you should get a weird looking mask like this. Make sure you got your lower plate that you didn't have to cut out, and we got this amazing mask. Now, I did this in DaVinci Resolve. You could do this in pretty much any software that has a polygon or a cut tool: Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, and even CapCut. So after a quick color grade and a little bit of movement or an adjustment clip to make it pop in a bit more, here's the final shot. So if you're interested, check out the Scorp Mini 3 Pro in the link in the description. Bye.